Okay. All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today with us as we mark the 1-year anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act and tell you about some of the successes we've seen here in Arizona. They're significant and critically important at a time when we're facing record heat and extreme weather that is only exacerbated by the climate crisis. My name is Ben Bryce, and I'm the Senior Manager for State Affairs in the Southwest region for the Environmental Defense Fund. Senator Kelly, Mayor Gallego, colleagues, friends, thank you for being here today. My children, I've got 3 of them, are the 7th generation of my family to call Arizona home. Most of my family still live in the southeast corner of the state in a place called the Gila Valley. We've been there over a century. And they've been, and continue to be, ranchers, farmers, miners. And the lands and the natural resources of this state have sustained my family for over 100 years. And we can't afford to lose it. None of us can. And we need a state that cares for its air, that cares for its land, and that cares for its water. And that's why I'm so excited about the administration's clean energy plan and the success that we've been seeing here that can lead to a truly clean energy economy to provide the tools that we need for a vital Arizona for everyone. According to new data that we're releasing today, EV and battery manufacturing companies have announced investments for $10.8 billion in Arizona. And just to highlight how important the IRA and the bipartisan infrastructure law have been, 2/3 of those announcements came after the passage of the IRA, and 90% after the passage of the bipartisan infrastructure law. Those investments will generate over 11,400 good-paying, family-sustaining jobs in the state. I'll also note that that figure is 3 times the number that we saw when we first surveyed the data 4 months ago. Things are only ramping up. And I'll also note that the IRA provided funding for the recent agreement, you probably heard about it, between Arizona, Nevada, and California to conserve at least 3 million acre-feet of water in the Colorado River. Without that legislation, that deal may not have happened. And so we stand here at the vanguard of innovation for a new Arizona. The Clean Energy Plan is working, and our speakers will tell us more. I'd like to introduce U.S. Senator Mr. Mark Kelly.
Thank you, Ben. Good morning, everybody, and it's great to be back at Valley Metro. Good to see you, Mayor. I want to thank the Environmental Defense Fund for bringing everybody together today. But let me start by mentioning something that Ben mentioned, and I think something that people are probably kind of sick of hearing, but we've got to talk about it anyway. And that's that Phoenix has been dealing with some serious and record-shattering temperatures, and a significant heat wave went on for 31 days. I think we got a break with 1 day a couple days ago. But the temperatures have topped 110 degrees, and on many days it was a lot hotter than that. And now, as you might expect, folks in the national media, not you guys, but the national media, they've just discovered this, that is actually hot in the desert in Arizona. It's always hot. And folks, you know, we're used to that here. At the same time, though, this heat wave has been brutal. It's especially tough on workers, and it's really tough on seniors. And we know that the climate is changing. And it doesn't just make things warmer, it also creates conditions where extreme weather events like heat waves and damaging wildfires and flooding are a lot more common. But here's the thing, Arizona is not only on the front lines of the challenges of climate change, but also a lot of the solutions. Our state has been a leader in clean energy. And now, thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, That is being boosted with investments in the development, the manufacturing, and the deployment of renewable energy. We're building things like solar panels and electric vehicles and renewable technologies that will reduce emissions and slow climate change. And Arizona is also emerging as a hub for battery manufacturing, thanks to the investment we made from the Inflation Reduction Act. And it has helped companies like Core Power, who I think are here with us today. So one thing is clear, it's clear to me, I think it's clear to many of you in this room, and that is that the Inflation Reduction Act is working as it was intended. Now, as an engineer and a former astronaut, everybody knows that I like numbers, and Ben was talking about some of these numbers just a little bit ago, and I think they're going to announce and release some more numbers that Arizona should be excited about. In the last 8 years, though, electric vehicles and battery manufacturers have made big investments in our state. And even more are coming because the IRA became law. And these investments are not just helping us fight climate change, they have created more than 11,000 good-paying jobs here in Arizona, not somewhere overseas. Now, everybody likes to talk about bringing jobs back to America, but we are actually getting this done. And these are good-paying jobs. These are jobs that you can actually raise a family on. But here's the thing, the work on this is not done. There's a lot more that we need to do to be able to protect our children and our grandchildren from the worst effects of climate change. Now, I'll never forget the first time I got to look out of the window of the space shuttle and get a good view of planet Earth from low Earth orbit. And one of the things you notice very quickly is the thinness of our atmosphere. It's literally like a contact lens on an eyeball. People don't realize this as you're standing on the planet. And it's the only thing that separates us from the vacuum of space in a rather unforgiving climate. But it's a thing that allows us to live on this planet. And we've got to do a better job taking care of it. I mean, there is no planet B. I mean, we are all not moving to Mars someday. That is not a thing. So we've got to do a better job of taking care of our atmosphere. Now, the IRA is a big step forward in doing this, but we can't lose the momentum. As long as we keep pushing, Arizona will continue to benefit and remain at the forefront of this clean energy transition. So thank you, everybody, for being here today. And with that, I'm pleased to introduce someone who is really leading on tackling climate change and its impacts to our community, Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego.
Thank you, Senator Kelly, for your leadership in delivering for Arizona. Not only did you help pass the Inflation Reduction Act, but you're really making sure that Arizona gets full benefit from it. And I have to tell you, as mayor of Phoenix, we are one of the cities best positioned to take advantage of the Inflation Reduction Act. It means a huge deal to us, and we're excited to celebrate the one-year anniversary. Phoenix is benefiting from improvements in our water security, new electric vehicle jobs, energy efficiency for our residents, and it's been wonderful to see the impacts of the Inflation Reduction Act already. As we weather this historic record-breaking heat wave, our gathering here today to discuss this investment in cleaner energy in the face of climate change is quite fitting. Many of you have heard me say before, it's my goal to make Phoenix the most sustainable desert city. We're working overtime to achieve that goal, whether it's overhauling our bus fleet to become totally electric or planting drought-resistant trees across town. At the city, we're proud to work with our federal and state partners to ensure that Arizonans reap the benefits of the IRA, bolstering our water resources, reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, cutting energy bills, and providing pathways to well-paying careers. Perhaps, given the sunny weather we've had of late, it's appropriate to highlight the impact related to solar incentives. The Inflation Reduction Act provides tax credits cutting 30% off the cost of rooftop solar, making it $7,000 cheaper on average to install solar on your roof, and 30% off the cost of community solar projects as well. The Act provides additional incentives for solar projects at affordable housing properties and in low-income communities. Phoenix and our Solar United neighbors have partnered on the Metro Solar Co-op to help residents go solar. So far, we've helped more than 127 homeowners install solar energy. We expect to attract even more partners next year. We're seeing about 800 solar permits come through the city a month, and that's just the city of Phoenix. We know right now many of our residents are opening up their energy bills to see what may be their highest bill ever. The Inflation Reduction Act can help with that. There are a variety of different provisions that can help you lower that electricity bill. The Inflation Reduction Act can help with rebates on new heat pumps or new air conditioners. If you need more energy efficient windows, there's an opportunity to get money for that. And if you don't know what you need, you can get an energy audit, and a professional will help you tailor solutions that will reduce your energy bills and then also help us all reduce the greenhouse gas emissions associated with the power to generate that electricity. If you're trying to think, how can I take advantage of this in terms of a career switch, there are also great opportunities. The City of Phoenix has partnered with the Maricopa County Community Colleges to provide career paths into high-tech fields, such as electric vehicle infrastructure. And you can get many of these programs at no cost, including help with transportation. We have nearly 60,000 Arizonans already working in clean energy, and we expect an additional 82,000 green jobs in Arizona over the next 5 years. We know the power of clean energy jobs, and we are really feeling the benefits of the Inflation Reduction Act. There was a sheet metal manufacturing facility in North Phoenix that unfortunately had to close. Because of the Inflation Reduction Act, a new company that was based in Asia came into our community. They were able to rehire the workers who wanted to return, and they are making electric vehicle charging infrastructure right here in the city of Phoenix, creating great jobs while they help us continue our leadership in the Electric Valley. Whether it be the amazing work that Valley Metro is doing on a cleaner, greener transportation future, or the large concentration of EV companies, our leadership in electric vehicles helps our entire country, but the biggest benefits are for those of us at home. It's been an amazing year for the Inflation Reduction Act, and we're so glad to mark the 1-year anniversary this August, but the benefits are just beginning. I know it's funny to recommend the IRS website, but they actually have great guides to how you can personally benefit and make sure you get your fair share of rebates and incentives from the Inflation Reduction Act. We want to make sure if you want to lower your energy bill that you know you have a partner in the federal government, and the City of Phoenix wants to work with you as well. The city will be able to take direct benefit from programs that we have long not been able to access. The city can now get solar energy credits that we used to need private sector partners for, but we'll be able to continue our leadership. We're already #1 for solar installed on city facilities, but we're not stopping there because we know our community needs us to step up, and not only will we be the Electric Valley, but we will also be the Solar Energy Valley. Thanks to the Inflation Reduction Act, we have so many more opportunities, and we can leverage great investments, whether it be the City of Phoenix bond or the work happening when the voters approve the extension of Prop 400. I next get to introduce a leader who's been on the front lines of making sure we have a sustainable, equitable transportation future, and that we deliver the federal government's benefits and get our fair share. Please welcome the CEO of Valley Metro, Jessica Mefford-Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Gallego, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Valley Metro's Operations and Maintenance Center. This facility is the heartbeat of Valley Metro's rail operations program. Every day, we dispatch and support 64 rail vehicles out of this location, including our streetcars and our light rail vehicles. All of our operators support this location, and every day we have 33 trains in service consisting of 2 of these light rail vehicles here. This facility was built in 2007 in advance of our 2008 opening of our first light rail starter line. And in 2021, we had the opportunity to expand this facility by 50% to support our growing light rail system. We anticipate doubling our fleet up to 90 vehicles and our light rail system to 66 miles. Speaking of jobs, we have more than 170 Valley Metro team members who work out of this location, many of them in clean technology, and we have 350 contract partners who are supporting our rail operations, maintenance, and security programs. They each have an important role in supporting our 28-mile light rail system that stretches from Mesa to Tempe through the city of Phoenix, and we are quickly expanding. Now, Valley Metro is committed to a sustainable, future-focused operation, so it's our great pleasure to host you at this facility where technology is embedded. We have made investments in solar canopies right here at the Operations and Maintenance Facility, as well as at our Mesa Bus Operations and Maintenance Center. And by the way, 78% of our bus fleet is powered by cleaner technology. You know, Valley Metro, like all public transit systems, makes its greatest positive environmental impact by taking single occupancy vehicles off the road. Every year, our customers are helping to remove 10 million pounds of pollutants from the air that are mitigated by their use of public transportation. We're grateful, especially this week, for our passionate local leadership, including Mayor Gallego, for championing solutions for climate and heat resiliency. We could not deliver projects like this without federal investment and the leadership we have in Washington, especially that of Senator Mark Kelly. We have made great strides with the help of the IRA and the IIJA. This summer, we were awarded a $13 million competitive low or no emissions vehicle grant, combined with other federal funding sources and a $2 million investment from Proposition 400, our regional funding stream. We plan to purchase 20 battery electric vehicles and charging infrastructure to support 12 vehicles at a time. A portion of that investment will also go to train our skilled team members who will maintain and operate that new battery electric equipment. Continued federal and regional support in our endeavor to green our operation is crucial to operating a successful, environmentally and financially sustainable transit operation. It is thanks to the collective rallying cry of late of our local leaders and our many partners that the extension of Proposition 400, our regional funding source, is headed to voters in 2024. Proposition 400 and its extension will provide that critical local match to our federal funding streams. We are excited about the future of transportation in the Valley. We look forward to leveraging our partnerships to deliver clean and environmentally sustainable mobility across the Valley for decades to come. Thank you. It is now my great pleasure to welcome Lori Singleton, President and CEO of Arizona Forward and a pillar of clean energy in Arizona.
Thank you. If you're not familiar with Arizona Forward, we're a 53-year-old nonprofit focused on environmental issues across the state. It inspires me to see so many of our partners, the Environmental Defense Fund, the Mayor of Phoenix, Valley Metro, the Tech Council, American Solar, all in the same room celebrating the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act and continuing to work together on climate issues here in Arizona. My incoming board chair and senior executive with HDR Engineering, Aaron Mayor, is here with me today. On behalf of the board of directors at Arizona Forward, we specifically wanted to publicly thank Senator Kelly for your unwavering commitment to solving our climate crisis and creating a more sustainable Arizona. We will continue to be laser focused on these issues and helping to bring innovative solutions that are already underway and those that will be implemented here in our state for years to come, made possible by this funding. Thank you so much, Senator, for all you do for Arizona. We look forward to continuing to work with you and your staff on creating a clean energy economy, ensuring our state's water supplies, and creating a robust, safe, and clean transportation system for all Arizonans. And now it's my pleasure to introduce my colleague, Steve Zylstra, with the Arizona Technology Council.
Thank you, Lori. Isn't it great to be at an event like this? This is so important to the future of Arizona. Good morning. I'm Steve Zylstra. I'm President and CEO of the Arizona Technology Council, the premier trade association in Arizona serving science and technology-based companies. We're home to over 750 member companies, amplifying Arizona's clean and renewable energy leadership. You'll hear from one of those leaders representing one of those companies in just a few minutes. To assist the local innovation ecosystem, the Council advocates for pro-technology and pro-growth legislative agenda at the state, federal, and local level. And we couldn't have been more thrilled when the Inflation Reduction Act was passed 1 year ago, allocating $369 billion for a clean energy plan over the next decade. And I want to repeat some data that Ben mentioned earlier. In the last 8 years, nearly $11 billion in investments, 11,500 jobs have been announced in Arizona for electric vehicle and battery manufacturing. Again, more than 2/3 of those investments have been announced since the passage of the IRA and 90% since the passage of the IIJA. This underscores the dramatic impact that federal policies have on spurring domestic manufacturing investments to support a clean future. This would not have been possible without Senator Mark Kelly, and we are incredibly grateful for his leadership on this historic day. I'd also like to acknowledge the strong support of Governor Hobbs and her newly created Governor's Office of Resiliency, as well as Mayor Gallego for prioritizing sustainability. While every state is poised to gain clean energy jobs because of these historic investments, Arizona ranks among the top 10 in new clean energy projects that were announced or advanced since the IRA. Our strong leaders, technology ecosystem, and private investments in clean energy are transforming Arizona into a clean energy and electric vehicle manufacturing powerhouse. And with that, I'd like to introduce Suzanne Swink, Vice President of Government Relations at Core Power, a council member that is building the first net zero gigafactory in the world and putting Arizona's battery innovation into hyperdrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, for that lovely introduction. Core Power is proud to be a Tech Council member and proud of the work that we're doing here in Arizona. I want to thank EDF for being such a great host and bringing all of us together. Thank you to Valley Metro for giving us such a wonderful location to talk about these important things. Mayor Gallego, so wonderful for you to join us, and I'm proud to stand up here with our other partners and talk about the clean energy revolution. In particular, I also want to thank Senator Kelly for his leadership and his championship of policies like the IRA. Core Power was founded in 2018 with one goal, and that was to onshore domestic battery manufacturing to build the cells that power our electric vehicles and that allow us to store energy from clean sources like wind and solar so that that power is available for us when we need it. 5 years ago when we were founded, there were probably a number of folks who didn't think it was going to happen. And here we are 1 year past the Inflation Reduction Act passage, and we can see that the demand for domestic battery manufacturing has been put into hyperdrive. We broke ground at the end of last year out in Buckeye on our Coreplex. And we recently were thrilled to get a conditional commitment from the Department of Energy for an $850 million loan to help support that construction. So when it opens in 2025, you'll see a 1.33 million square foot facility employing 1,250 employees at capacity and producing 6 gigawatt hours of battery cells. So just to give some context for that, 6 gigawatt hours is equal to more than 28,000 electric vehicles annually. There is nowhere where it is more evident that the clean energy revolution is happening than here in Arizona. So, excuse me. So as we are building our Coreplex, we are having conversations with companies that supply the materials that we need, that purchase the products that we manufacture, and that recycle these products at the end of life. So as I was describing earlier, Arizona has really become a microcosm of what we'd like to see happen nationally, right, with the clean energy revolution. We're really proud to be part of this circular battery economy that we're really seeing come to fruition here in Arizona. The last thing I'll say is that if there was any lesson that we learned from the pandemic, it's that supply chains are fragile. They are susceptible to geopolitical realities, and the best way that we can fight against that is to ensure that these components and these cells are made domestically, right? So if we are going to be modernizing our grid, if we're going to be modernizing our transportation sector, it is essential that we have U.S. manufacturing as part of that. So again, I'm thrilled that Core Power is a part of this. We thank the Senator and everyone else for their support, and just really thrilled to be here today to celebrate. I'm also going to be introducing Joy Seitz, who is President and CEO of our American Solar and Roofing Company.
Hi, good morning. Again, Joy Seitz, CEO of American Solar and Roofing. It is such an exciting time. I have been in Arizona my whole life, Arizona native, Phoenix native. I've been in clean energy now for nearly 15 years, and as I've been speaking to everybody here today, it's just an exciting day to look back on what we've accomplished over the last couple decades, but furthermore this last year. It is very obvious by everybody's comments today that the Clean Energy Plan is working and that we were all ready for the Inflation Reduction Act to be signed. So again, thank you, as we've all said, to Senator Kelly for having these conversations, for pushing it back in DC and making it. I remember the day in which it was signed. I was on a flight and I broke down in tears. The battle that we have had, and again, I've had with all of the previous speakers before me, to bring clean energy to Arizona, to make Phoenix #1, to make Arizona the lifeblood of clean energy, has been a battle, and I am so excited for today. As many people have said, it's about clean jobs, it's about clean energy, it's about our climate. I represent one of the 263,000 employees within the clean energy revolution, and again, and it feels like today is a new day after a decade of working in it. I also represent a number of men and women in the clean energy sector. So Jose, he started in our warehouse when he was 17 years old, and now he's a project manager, and he's able to have a home, pay his bills, take care of his family, have his children in public schools, and continue that generation. The last thing we will say, or I'd like to say, is that again, today is a reckoning day for the clean energy revolution. The IRA is working nationally and locally, and we just need to continue the movement and not hesitate and keep our the pedal on the gas, because to have consistency, it means that we can all keep going and keep moving the clean energy revolution forward.